don't know. I don't have it in front of me. We are, I think 4 years left on that contract, and that is just a sheer guess.
Where's 7 located?
2011, 2012, I believe the contract was around that time frame. It was finalized, and that is a 10-year.
Which one is 7? Is it the one?
Westerville?
Genoa Township, it's actually Genoa, Westerville there, on 7077 North Gateway, directly behind the Home Depot. I believe it's 20, if I really think about it, November of 2021, I believe.
The history of this building been okay? I mean,
Actually, it's turned out to be an excellent location. It is one of the busier trucks in the county. We do a lot, obviously, with Westerville because of the population there. And it's turned out to be a really great location.
building's been maintained well?
Maintained very well. Maintained very well. We did have some roof issues, but they have been completed and no issues with it.
Vote?
Vote on motion 18-711. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution
Commissioners.
number 18-712, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriation for the Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second, discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am going first. I am Chief Deputy John Scowden. I'm in charge of the operations section for the Sheriff's Office. And what we're asking for today is some appropriations of moving some funds from our grant for the Drug Task Force to a different fund. And I'll have Marcia Ames from our financial area to discuss that.
We need to move appropriations of $20,611.80 from our object code 5450, which is our capital equipment, to our 5300 for services and charges. The appropriation is due to the difference in the classification of expenses. How the grant defines equipment is different than how our object codes are defined. Just shy of $16,000 is being used for surveillance equipment. However, this is an update and repair of current systems versus new equipment purchases. The remainder is due to the adjustment of our contract services with the phones.
Questions? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-712. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Resolution number 18-713, in the matter of approving the First Amendment to the Intergovernmental Cooperation Agreement between the Delaware County Board of Developmental Disabilities and the Delaware County Board of Commissioners for facilities management and facilities maintenance.
So moved.
I asked, I'm not going to second it this time. I asked John to kind of fill me in. I just saw it this morning for the first time. I'd like to know how we arrive at the dollar figure, because we might move it to Thursday based on what I hear. So go ahead, John. My questions have to do with how do we calculate it, and getting some consistency that these are reviewed by SI before we approve, not only your area, but any area, so we have some consistency in what the formula looks like. So anything you want to add or clarify that might help?
Sure. John Melvin, Director of Facilities. This is going in our third year with the DD as far as providing their maintenance. We calculate the labor rates for each individual of our maintenance employees based on their full compensation package, salaries and all the benefits, PERS, workers' comp, and health care package, whether it's single or family. We have a formula that, spreadsheet that does that, and then we charge back to DD their full benefits package. Labor rate including benefits. So we use the facility to do work order system, so they track all their time they put on the work orders. Then we run a report, pull their actual hours performed, including travel, and then quarterly bill them back, and then it's reposted. It's a memo transfer, reposted against our salaries and benefits line items. So
I'm going to go ahead and second the motion, just open up dialogue so we can have a conversation. And so I do second it. My concern is, and I'm fully supportive of the process and what we're doing, but the concern that I have is we need to make sure, not only in your area, but all the areas, that it's reviewed by so we're following the same model, we're making sure all expenses are covered, and the best way to do that is make sure it's going through the same funnel.
yes.
And that's my concern or my observation. Commissioner Benton, I don't know if you want to add anything or.
No, I think, again, the concept of leveraging out, the county's expertise in assisting some of the smaller agencies makes a lot of sense, and we've had, I think, pretty good success with it so far, and we did pull the one, but I think that was more of a contractual issue with the IT group. But what's the history been on this, John? How much?
Example for last year, I ran a quick report this morning. We had a total of 520 hours down there at DD last year. It cost them roughly $17,000 in our, full package of benefits. In comparison, Chris isn't here to help verify this, but I know when talking to her previously when we set up this agreement, they were spending over $80,000 a year for maintenance at their facility there. I feel, and whether it's just, our guys, I know the systems are in a lot better shape. They're getting their preventative maintenance now. The HVAC system is a little bit more balanced, so we're able to provide them I think it's a better service at a fraction of what they were spending on it. So we're not deviating of a lot of our time. We're not, I know going into it, there was some individuals had some concern about the amount of times it would take down there, but it's really has not put any kind of burden on our crew.
I understand, I have the concept, philosophy of shared services, I agree 100%, because we can do things, in some cases, more cheaply than
Yeah.
some of the smaller entities can. The concern that I have is, the question I asked this morning was, have we allowed SI to review it?
Yeah.
And I think that's an important step, so we're all doing it the same way, we're following the same formula. In this case, are we allowing the time to drive down there as part of the mix? We're covering all the benefits, retirement, medical, et cetera, and the only way I can feel comfortable with that if we have the same person blessing it.
The memo transfers come back through SI. He sees them when they're going out,
Right.
so, and the labor rate.
But when the contract's agreed to is when we need to have that understanding, not when the memos come in. I'm going to ask, so we establish a precedent going forward that we table this till Thursday to allow you to go through that exercise. With my full expectation, I'll vote for it on Thursday, but just to get Cy in the mix so he can review it, and hopefully you guys can come back on Thursday and say yes. And not just for you, but for any other shared service we do, that's part of the formula that we go through, the model.
Just to be clear, you review the labor rates and make sure that we're encompassing all the benefits and
Yeah,
everything.
that we're including all the costs
Right.
so that we have a fair and accurate accounting of those costs.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not so much facilities or this agreement that I'm worried about, it's having a model in place
Yeah.
so that we all follow the same. So without objection, I'm just asking we table it to Thursday?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I guess one additional comment would be, do we include mileage
No.
in that would be a recommendation that we include mileage. I don't know if that amounts to much or not, because I know it's not really very far. And
Right.
we're apparently not going very often. If it's only 18,000 a year, it's not. So, and they do pay all out of pocket, though. I mean, they pay the.
Yeah, all the
voters,
counties out of pocket for the salaries, for
Paid
each
directly
employee.
by DD.
Yep.
So with no objection, we'll table it till Thursday. And you're kind of just happened to be the one that came up this morning, and I didn't have the opportunity since I've been on vacation last week to have this
Right.
conversation in advance. But it is a good practice we ought to put in place going forward. And so I look forward to supporting it on Thursday after it's been reviewed.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 13, resolution number 18-714, in the matter of authorizing the submitting of an application to SourcePoint of Delaware County for the TORS program grant for Delaware County Juvenile and Probate Court.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Karen Watkins, Fiscal Coordinator for the Juvenile and Probate Court. This is for our TORS program. It's the community service program that we operate with SourcePoint. The limit on this grant is $10,000, so we're asking from SourcePoint for $9,791 this year.
Questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-714. Mr. Bitton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-715, in the matter of authorizing the submitting of an application to Source Point of Delaware County for the Guardianship Visitation Program for Delaware County Juvenile and Probate Court.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
This is the third time we've applied for this grant, the second time that it's actually been above the $10,000 mini grant limit. This year, we're asking for $18,299 to support our guardianship coordinator's position.
How has that been going?
It's been wonderful. After moving her 100% up to the probate court, she's been able to really dedicate all of her time and effort on serving the wards of Delaware County. This is, again, the first year that we've been tracking in-kind hours with our volunteers and the amount of time that she puts towards the volunteers and coordinating their efforts and making sure that they get out to visit everyone.
What did we apply for last year?
Last year, we applied for about $17,000. They awarded $10,000. It was the first year that we had submitted for it. So they definitely support the program, but we're still trying to provide additional details to them.
Vote.
Vote on motion 18-715. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-716, in the matter authorizing the submitting of an application to the Department of Youth Services for subsidy grant reclaim for Delaware County Juvenile and Probate Court.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
This is our annual submission to the Department of Youth Services. It covers a majority of our probation and intake officers as well as our family advocates. We're also in here, we've got the competitive reclaim piece. That's a 3-year contract that we've already applied for. This is just the second year of funding that we are expecting from them.
How has this program gone? What kind of dollars have we gotten in prior years?
This is based off of the variable of bed days that we use at the 2 facilities. Both the base and the reclaim amount have decreased over the years. It's due to the variable average that they run. So we're still trying to catch up from some over bed day usage. But we've been able to recoup some of it with some carryover, and they've also re-released some additional funding at the end of this year.
Vote on motion 18-716. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 18-717, in the matter of approving a service contract between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners and Environmental Comfort LLC for the uninterruptible power system and battery preventative maintenance inspections for both the 911 Center and Prime Tower site.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Patrick Brandt with the 911 Center. What we have for you is a contract with EC Power. They did a preventative maintenance check in 2016. We're asking for that to be done again this year. It is a budgeted expense and actually came under what our budgeted amount was. The other part within this same agreement is the batteries up at the Prime site that holds our main radio system. There's 60 of them. Those are due to be replaced. The last time they were replaced was in 2012. So they actually got 1 year past what we were expecting on our life cycle of them. So we're asking for that to be, it's encompassed in this contract. And that came under budget as well.
You've answered the questions I had, so.
I'm sorry.
None? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-717. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-718, in the matter of approving a consent to assignment between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, Alert Tracking System Incorporated, doing business as Alert Public Safety Solutions, and John J. Jacobs for Intellitech Corporation for 911 Center software.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Once again, Patrick Brandt with the 911 Center. Our computer-aided dispatch vendor is Alert Public Safety Solutions. They also do the records management system for the county, for the sheriff's office and several others. We've been with them since 2006. We were notified by the principal owner currently that they are being bought out by Intellitech Systems. We've looked over the agreement that have came before us and is in front of you guys. I've also spoke with Sheriff Martin and Chief Pijanowski and others about this, and nobody has any concerns or questions at this time.
So you're satisfied with the support, and the new owner will continue that good support?
We hope. I've spoke with the new owner on the phone for a couple minutes. We're hoping everything stays. So, but I can't guarantee it. Our current maintenance is through December of this year, is when it's up for, when it renews automatically every year.
Vote on motion 18-718. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Resolution number 18-719, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriation and supplemental appropriation for Family and Children's First Council.
So moved.
Second, discussion?
Good morning, Angela Thomas, Interim Director with Job and Family Services. The first line item requesting is to transfer appropriations from the salary line in their admin account to the health insurance line, $7,000. Because the position was vacant, there's appropriations there, and at the time that we prepared this budget, the current person in the position was not receiving any health insurance benefits through the county, so we did not budget that. And our current FCFC coordinator is. So that's why we're asking to transfer that appropriation to get us through the end of the year.
Questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-719. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
And then there are also a couple of supplementals. I don't know if that was all part of the same.
It was.
We've already taken.
Yeah.
Oh, we're done? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Resolution number 18-720, in the matter of approving a permit for the Delaware County use, try that all again. Resolution number 18-720, in the matter of approving a permit for use of Delaware County facilities.
So moved.
Second, discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hus, Director of Communications. This is on behalf of Judge Hemanowski for it's Historical Society tours of the old jail and sheriff's residence. He's looking ahead, as he is wont to do, to an October date, and because it would be more than 30 attendees, we need to have it come before you for approval.
Is this the haunted tour?
Pardon?
The haunted tour of Northwest?
No,
Delaware?
this isn't the haunted house tour. This is something different, where he does it in conjunction with someone from the Historical Society. So it's sort of a more, I don't know, fact-based, you could call it, kind of a tour, so.
Any other questions? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-720. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
With that, that brings us to administrative report.
And I don't have anything to report today.
And Commissioner Benton.
Just a couple things. We have a North Star New Community Authority opening on that authority's, one of the seats on that authority. So I would encourage everyone to recommend people or apply themselves. It's a very active, very important new community authority for Delaware County, and we need good representation on that. Went to Source Point's open house of their new office in southern Delaware County and Polaris area. It was very, very well attended. A lot of people there, a lot going on. This is not an activity center. No pool, no pool tables. Sorry, Gary. But yeah, it's for services, you know, their insurance services, consulting, and so on. So they're going to work on publicizing, you know, that they're there and available, because they have low participation of the eligible people in that area. So they're going to publicize that, and good luck to them, doing a lot of good things there. Went to the Data Bus open house last Thursday, I think it was, and that was very well done. They're working on their strategic plan. Their office turned out very nice. They've really done a nice job of renovating that. So we went to the third Thursday lunch, and we had 4 communities represented there: Concord Township, Berlin Township, Sunbury, and the 4th. Where the 4th that came? Was it? Powell. That's right, Powell. And very interesting, you know, it's just the consistent theme. There's a lot going on around the county, and just so many things going on in all these jurisdictions. So it was good to hear the updates of what they're working on. We got investment committee Thursday morning before the regular session, and that's it.
As I alluded to earlier, I was on vacation last week, so I did not get to attend the Source Point opening of the facility. The Source Point does a really great job trying to reach out to the citizenry in our county that qualify, and it's good that they're adding this in the southern part of the county, because I think when you have the one location in the center, it makes it difficult for the fringe areas, and I think that's great. Bob had indicated he'd give me a tour later, knowing I couldn't be there, and I'll take him up on that. And
It's on the second floor of an office building at the corner of Sancus and Polaris, so it's not, you know, not a separate building, and it's not going to be as visible, obviously, as the main building. But they got a bunch of offices set up, and Nelson Katz is kind of the manager of this location.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So they're working on getting more people engaged in the southern part because of the services they provide are so good. So good for them.
Very good. I have nothing else. I do believe we have need for executive session.
We do. Resolution number 18-721, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of pending or imminent litigation for collective bargaining.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 18-721. Mr. Bitton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye. We're now in executive session.
Resolution number 18-722, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 18-722. Mr. Bitton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye. If there's no other business to bring before us, we are adjourned.